Okay, there we go. I can get some light in here, I guess. Might become a problem when I don't have any power anymore. So I'm just fixing up in regards of them coming to take my power away from me. Don't have that many resources to gather things and all that. So, but yeah, I do have one power bank. I actually have two power banks actually. One of them is not the biggest power bank. I'm actually not sure what it is, but it's a power bank. So I have one power bank. I do have smaller solar panels, but they don't tend to work even in the sunshine, in the summer. They don't really give much, sadly. So that's a problem. I need to see if I can get a big panel of solar panels, which hopefully will work in the winter as well, at least to give me some kind of juice. You know, it's not like I need to have big power ability for all my stuff and all that. Would be nice to have some power for my mobiles, although which is also something I'm looking into. You know, I have this new mobile or whatever you want to call it. What do you call it? Crap mobile? You know, whatever, you know. Which is because I couldn't get one of my old mobiles because of all the corona nonsense and all that. And I'm not going to pay for something where you can't change the battery. So there was only two options. And one option still only had 64 gigabytes, which still also is too small. Although there might actually have been a feature in it, I'm not sure, where you can actually make the SD card, you know, merge with the internal in some sense. Which of course, if you can transfer files without any problems through the mobile, which usually can be a problem, then it of course would be, you know, no problem. But the problem is that mostly you have all these issues when you transfer from the mobile, from Android in all days, to the computer and all that. You can only do one thing at a time, and then you know, it's just, I've had a lot of issues on those accords. So it's usually just easier to, if you don't want to have all this messy nonsense, it's usually easier to just take the, you know, the SD card, which is also one of these interesting things in the past. The memory card was always easily able to take out. You know, you could take it out without turning off your mobile and all that, you know. And even my old mobile, which was the last flagship in regards of the three most important things, you know, the three things that a mobile has to have, or it's just for this dumpster. That is jack stick, memory card, and attachable, you know, changeable battery. If they don't have those three things, it's just to the dumpster. I don't even want to look at it, okay? It's just not going, you know, all that nonsense bullshit and all that where they design it like, you know, purposely designing it so you need to buy a new phone, and it's so disgusting. And of course we, the user, are getting all the heat, right? Oh, it's our fault, right? While they are producing this bullshit. It's the same thing with the light bulbs, you know. They could last a long time, but then they made this thing that a light bulb was only allowed to light for 1,000 hours. Think about how much trash, how much time that has, you know, how much, you know, you need to go down and buy the light bulbs, right? You need to change them and all that. You might need to call an electrician if you're an older person who can't figure out to change a light bulb or whatever, or don't have the ability to, well, anyway, you know, think about how much nonsense, you know, the trash needing to get out and all that. It's just a minor thing, but something that so many was using, right, or used. Well, I guess we don't, many don't use these kind of light bulbs anymore. But anyway, so sickening overall. So I was looking into, here we have the Anker Power Core 3 Elite 83 watts. That was the one I got a couple of months ago just to be a little prepared, but I have I shouldn't have bought that. It's not good. It's just I have no idea how they can make it so expensive. It can't even charge while being charged. Yeah, at least I thought that they have fixed that you can actually charge something while taking. No, 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 no. Apparently not. And it's like 25,000 milliamps, which is a good amount. Not a bad. 26 it might be. I can't remember. Yeah, there's different versions of it. This one is 26.8 thousand. I don't know if that's the same with the other one, but I think it's the same here. But anyway, I'm just the lights. When it what do you call it charges, it's hard to see the lights. It can't charge while being charged. Another nonsense thing. So yeah, it's lots of nonsense. I'm not far from satisfied with that. Anyway, but it's working absolutely. I can charge it up, and then I can charge some of my other devices, and it works pretty good. But I found out that I was looking around and thinking, what is the biggest one that I can actually get? If I'm going to go with with no power, 26,000 milliamps or whatever it is, something of that. It can be pretty quickly to actually be used. I must say, if you only have that to take from, it's yeah. Yeah, so but anyway, I had the other one. I tried to put that on the solar panel in the summer. The small one I have somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have it somewhere. It's just a small one that you can have in your pocket pretty much. Well, it's bigger, I guess, than, but it's still smaller than like 26,000. And you can also use it as a hand warmer and all that. But trying to put it to my solar panels ended up, it ended up discharging instead of actually charging. So you could put it on and it was maybe charging a little, but then it was discharging when the sun wasn't there. It just doesn't make any sense, but sadly that's what it did, and thereby you didn't really get any power. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's an older one I've had for a couple of years, I guess. But anyway, you can use it as a hand warmer. That's and a charging device, But so I have anger power. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I found this one, 50,000 milliamps for 339 kroners. It's a lot cheaper than the other one. You can actually get, and it's also a lot bigger as well. So you're getting pretty much nearly the double amount of battery for a lot smaller price. You can pretty much get 4 times as much for the same price, pretty much, as far as I can. Yeah, around that. Around 4 times as much for the same price as that's the one that I bought. Now, of course, this is on, what do you call it, offer thing and all that. I have no idea if it's any good, but it's 50,000 milliamps per hour. And the question, of course, is how fast does it charge? That's a problem as well, right? If you're going to a place like the library to get some juice or whatever, somewhere to get some juice, you yeah, it's you can't sit there all day, right? So it says it's like a PD 18 watts. I don't know how much that would be. It's just all this confusion instead of just, they just made a mess out of a lot of things, and all this quick charging and nonsense this and nonsense that and all that. But it's a PD 18 watt. So a PD 18 watt. Yeah, and how much would that be in regards of 18 watt doesn't sound so much compared to a, you can get up to 100 watts now, right? But it's maybe you can do a double. It seems like it's talking about a double thing. It says you can actually charge the battery 50% in 30 minutes with a 18 watt PD 2 ways, charging. So it's that 2 times 18 watts, so that would be 86 watts, but you would then need to apparently put it in, I guess, charge it with, it's not much information you get with these things. The same thing with, when I got the thing here, and the things that I actually wanted to know, which I can't remember what was, but wasn't in the manual. But there was manual in so many different languages and a lot of information that just, didn't care about, but I can't remember the information. Oh yeah, in regards of, can you actually double charge it? Can you charge and get power? Of course, I could actually call those people actually making it in regards to that, because I don't want, you didn't want to break it, but I thought it would have, for that price point and for that company, I would have thought that everything was a-okay, that was, it seems like that Anchor seemed to have the ability to, I thought, to charge and to discharge. Because I did see some forums talking about it, but, apparently not. So this one, it seems actually also to be, easier to see how much it's charged because it has a number in the front. So let's also have some headlights in the front as well if you need some light, apparently. So I can use it as, light source. And it's 339 kroners. I'm thinking I could try, I would give me, it depends on how quickly it charges in regards to things, but it would give me a good amount of, if I'm going to the library to charge and all that, and 26,000 you can use pretty quickly if you use it for the speaker. And of course, I don't know how much of the speaker would, if you want some music and all that. I found out that the speaker is pretty good. I have a USB speaker thing and all that. And it doesn't have any bass, which is actually not a bad thing. Although sometimes you would like to have a little bass. But anyway, I can live with it. I can live with it. Absolutely live with it. It is itself a power bank, although I don't think it really is. That kind of size of battery, I think actually should be the norm overall. But no, they sell it as a power bank. It's just like, gotta be kidding me. But anyway, yeah, I even think it seems to actually be a little too small. But in regards of, but it can be used as a power bank, although not in regards to that quick and all that. So I guess I could maybe also charge from solar panels for that as well. It would be a little, but I won't have any the computers or anything like that. I will close down my lamps that I have here. I have 2 smaller lamps. The other lamps I can pretty much take down if I'm not going to have any power in my apartment anymore. And one of them is pretty much broke as well, so I thought when I would take that down, I would just throw it out anyway. It's broken. It's it lasts for now. But sadly I hit it with things and all that, so it's not really yeah. The other one is still working, although I would think it breaks when I take it apart. It has these things, plastic things, and apparently, both of them is plastic. And apparently one of the lamps that actually was the most expensive had this plastic that actually breaks very easily. Yeah, probably designed that way so the people need to buy. And also, interestingly enough, I don't recall actually buying it in that color that it now has. As far as I recall, I actually bought it in yellow, and it's not not yellow, white. And it's, looking at the 2 different lamps, as far as I recall, they're pretty much the same color. But now, the expensive one is now like a yellowish, brown, yellowish, I don't recall actually buying it in that color at all. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't recall. I think actually both of them was white. But anyway, they break, and you can make smaller and smaller lamps. So I just made one of the smaller models, pretty much. Just disappointing to see that the most expensive lamp is the one that breaks. The other one broke because I hit it, So if I hadn't hit it, it would still be a-okay, And that was the cheap one, Anyway, that's just interesting. Yeah. So it says something in regards to 18 watt PD 2 ways, but PD isn't that in regards of this new thing, in regards to smaller size. I really don't know. It's just all this, all these things. So I recall PD I thought was in regards of the new way of, no, maybe not. 18 watt PD, QC, container, whatever. And then of course you have all the cable nonsense, the different things, and if it's, sometimes it just, it's all nonsense compared to just in the old days where I just fixed it and it just worked, no problem. Here we go with the PD, 18 watt PD plus QC Pioneer. Oh, maybe this, QC was the quick charge, right? And PD was something else. I think that was something in regards of PD compared to QC. I think that was something in regards of a difference in regards to charging methods, one being open source and one being not open source. Yeah, QC is similar to PD30 in that it offers better charging and then standard USB. Also like PD30, both the charger and the device must be compatible with QC for it to work. So PD30, what's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference? Lots of standards, right? PD charging is ideal for laptops and other devices that require higher voltage, supporting the peak of 100 watts. I don't know in regards to my chargers if they support this and that and all that. But that was something in regards of one's technology being more open than the other one, I think. It's like, it's just a mess with all these technologies. When really many, much of this nonsense was not important. Because you could just change the battery. And it doesn't really matter in regards of charging a battery at the side, how long it takes, like with this, You have a cradle like this, or something of that nature. You just put the battery, if you turn it the right side, you just put it like this. Wow, right? Wow, what a huge, invention and all that. And a cradle usually would not cost too much to make in the first place. But they don't want us to actually have sanity. So they made all this nonsense so you can't change batteries, and one of the reasons why it was a little hard to try to modify this, and try it with another battery to see if it actually would charge some of the batteries from my new phone. Sadly, also with this, over the time, it begins to have issues charging. Again, designed absolution as far as I can see. You use a product at this point and then they want it to break down. But overall, they should still work, these two, but they do have some problems where they sometimes stops and all that, and then you need to take the battery out and in again to just get them hooked again. But the last couple of times that I used them, they did work. So, but yeah. And of course, with a easy, change of battery, you can also maybe buy a bigger battery for the mobile, so you don't need to charge the battery and all that, and don't be needing to be wired and all that. But no, we can't have that today. And the last mobile I bought, they don't sell a cradle for it, which is a huge problem because I have problems charging the mobile, and I bought four batteries for it just to have something in regards of it should never have have gotten it, but I needed a mobile, and I couldn't get a, because of all the corona nonsense, I couldn't get a, yeah. Anyway, that's whatever. So that's difference in regards to PD30 and Q will charge your battery faster than traditional. I think most of the chargers, I guess, that I have pretty much works. I don't know, but QC30 Basics is similar to PD30 in that it offers better charging performance than standard USB. Yeah, well, we can just have a, okay, so I can just take my biggest thing that sadly doesn't charge my, it should, this is one of these, yeah, it actually says PD on it, so I guess it must be PD able. This is one of these small chargers. I had just one burn off power port at some PD1, so I guess it must be able to do some kind of 5 volts, 9 volts, and 15 volts, but 20 volts at maximum. So this is one of these technologies where they're used on GaN, where they should be smaller and still be able to charge bigger things. Sadly, I still have, apparently I have problems with this and my new mobile, although I don't know if it's the charger, because I also updated the system, so it might be the mobile itself, or it might be the charger, So, because I don't have the old charger, which I knew that it worked wonderfully. So, again, but it burned off, it became very, very heated. I also did use it a lot because it's the only thing that could charge my battery in my mobile at a nice 3000 milliamps, and that's the only thing I have for charging batteries. And so you need to use it as a charging thing and then flip and put another battery. It's tedious. It's just nonsense. Life is way too short to use time for this. Anyway, apparently there's something in regards to PD. I don't know. It says PD on the front. I don't know what it's. It says power port atom PD1. Well, I don't know in regards to PD1. I don't know. So I don't really know how that. If it's. And that's, it's hard to figure out in regards to the information. Here it says PD30. Well, is this PD1 then, or what? How is it working? Is PD1 just in regards of I don't know. It's just typical where you're just sitting as a user and thinking this is nonsense. I'm even educated as a electrician, and this is just I just totally gets into this, I think it's nutty. Like, just give us a cradle for the, but no absolute, what do you call it? Absolute, designed absolution, right? Here we have some quick charge, 5, 9, 12 volts, right? 1 amp, 2 amp, 27 watts. Power delivery, 5 watts, 5 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts. 15 volts and 20 volts, and apparently that must be PD in regards of power delivery. Oh, power delivery, so quick charge is 5, 9 and 12, and power delivery is 5, 9, 12, 15 and 20. So this should be, this goes up to 20. So that should be a, as it says PD in the front, I guess. Up to 5 amps, I guess. Okay, and 100 watts, although this doesn't go up to 100 watts. It goes up to 20, that will be 35 watts. And yeah, so you can charge with 35 watts, which would be more than the thing that I just don't understand how they can say it, charging half of the battery in half an hour. That seems pretty quick, of course, when they can just totally go quickly, in the beginning, but still it seems so pretty much, fast charging 5, okay, that's fast charging is apparently something else, apparently. Specification, commonly used voltage, commonly used current, maximum power. So PD apparently is going up to 100 watts, while quick charge only go up to 27. So I guess we're now using PD mostly, according to this, I guess, because most chargers can do, more than 17 or 27 watts, or at least a lot of them can do, over that. So here we have quick charge 3 with 3 amps, then you have 2.4. It's just incredible how much you need to look in, and then of course you need to have the right cables, because I found out in the past that different cables does it, and it's interesting. Some cables works better with this and does work worse with this. It just give me a break. How hard can it be? Then you have all these. It becomes this huge mystery puzzle piece of bullshit. To trying to figure out what am I going to use. So you have to have the right cable and the right charger, and I guess you also have to have it in the right place in the charger, if there's different holes in the charger, In any case, 339 kroners for this 50,000 milliamps charger. But again, the question is, how quick can I actually charge it with the maximum, 18 watt, that would be, I did look into a charger that can do multiple things, and I was thinking, what am I going to, of course it can do 100, well it can do 100 watts in regards, I was thinking in regards to the other, 100 watts in regards to the other one I bought. So it's not going to take that long to charge it if I am what do you call it? 100 watts. If I am at the library, I can't remember how long it took, like 2 hours with this one or something like that. That's not that bad. And I was 35 watts. So yeah, it would take, I guess, around an hour for the double of this, and I guess less than an hour with 100 watts. I don't know, something of that nature. And that wouldn't be that bad. Go to the library, set up the computer, and do your things. Right? I won't have any computer here, so I will need to do everything on the computer at the library, if anything. So yeah, if I can charge things pretty quickly and have for a couple of days at home, I don't know, we'll see. It will be, I guess a way to, it is what it is. Well, yeah, that seems to be the biggest, what do you call it, battery USB you can buy, and that seems to be 50,000 apparently milliamps. 50,000 and PD, so that would be that technology 18 watts. So I guess that would be 18 watts, that would be 9, well, that's 15, and it goes up to 18, 27. Oh, so I guess maybe it goes up to 9 volts and 2 amps, I don't know. But but then again, it seems like it has like a double charging mode, so it seems like, it says, but that's only say input DC 5 volts and 1 amp. That doesn't seem to be much, right? But it says 18 watt PD 2-way charging, which still I don't understand. 2-way charging, how does it, can I put 2 into it and then charge with what, 36? I still don't understand how they can say that you in 50% you can charge it like on 30 minutes. That seems kind of way way too fast. I really don't understand how it would be able to charge that fast when the other one I have takes. Well, of course, the first bit of things always goes quicker than but still, it just seems like half an hour for charging it halfway. That does seem kind of with only 18 watts PD two-way. Yeah, again, two-way. Does that mean I can put two into it and then it double charges? I don't know. Giving all these issues, why can't they just? And oh yeah, the information on that thing I have over there, it's hard to see as well. They really, I don't know what they've been thinking on. You would think that when you buy like Anger, that you would actually get something that would be. I have no idea why Anger is so popular, you know. Yeah, the cables break and this thing. Yeah, I'm not positively in regards of Anger. This looks much better in regards of how much it's charged because it shows it from 0 to 100. PD 18 watts. I really don't know. In regards to this. But it's cheap. It's much cheaper than the other one, and it's bigger. Oh, it will give me 50,000 milliamps. Again, it depends on how quickly it charges. In regards to the library trip and all that, how long would I need to sit at the library to charge it? And of course, I will need a big charger as well to take care of it. So I need a good enough charger for charging the devices. Yeah, it'll be a little heavy. It's what, half a kilo or something like that. So it'll be, at 650 grams. Well, I guess I can try them out and see how it works. Oh. It wouldn't be a problem if it takes 1 hour or 2 hours to charge. 2 hours is not that long, really. If you sitting at the library at the computer and doing what you do, 2 hours is, I can do 2 hours without no problem at a computer. So, fix it in and just sit at the computer for 2 hours. That shouldn't be a problem. Fixing what you do, doing some coding or anything like that. But longer than 2 hours, then it begins to be a little. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much you want, Anyway, yeah, let's just go for it, and I can always sort things out. And okay, let's see here. Yep. Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's try it out. And again, it seems to be the cheapest solution. And it's really not that much compared to how much it seems like you're getting. So, and if it works wonderfully, then well, I can always look into getting more. I don't know why it actually is not more. It's really surprising how little it costs compared to the other one, compared to Anger. Okay, let's go for it. I guess. Yeah, that's great. We think I took it also there. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well, at least I will have enough to just go at the library, fix my thing, and I should I should be able to run a couple of days even without solar panels. To have maybe some of my mobiles going or something like that, which I also need to look into in regards of saving power. Of course, the most important thing is really that I have some headlight, and that really doesn't cost much battery, and I can sit and read things and all that. Still have a little time before they should come and take my power or fix their nonsense, which I'm going to take down. It's a little bob if they're going to change my thing, or if they're coming to change my things or not. As usual, problematic. So yeah, life is interesting, I guess. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. So if I want to make some music on the yeah, well, I guess that would actually also be better on the computer. Well, because I have to use what I can. There we go. Let's just get it done and see how it goes. Give me a break. Let's see. Yeah, do we have yeah. So 2, 9, 4, 1, 7, 5. There we go. Yep, so there we go. So that's an order inserted. Now I should have more than enough now when they come. I'll need to test them in regards of charging abilities, what kind of chargers I need to use, how long it takes, and so forward, and then I might actually be able to actually go for a pretty long time. Just go to the library one day and then go back, and I should probably be able to go for some time here at home. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All these things, It's bad printing in regards of why can't it just, it's incredible how printing can be so hard, right? You would just believe, would think that printing would be easy peasy, right? But there's always seemingly issues with printing web pages. That's just something that we have had for 20 years, and we still can't, it's just become worse than it was in the past. Just everything seems to become worse. It just never seems to become better. I was needing some cinnamon in this one. Tried some sugar-free things. Oh yeah, I still do actually have some marzipan or whatever. Okay, there we go. I should really have used these 3 things. But anyway, here we go. So I've ordered 2 of these guys. So that would be 100 milliamps per hour totally. That should be able to keep me going. That's why it became a little more than, I'm thinking, I probably should only have gotten 1, but it's not that, it's probably, if I have 2, let's just try 2 and see how it goes. Hope they charge quickly. and yeah, hopefully, at least big enough for sure. Um, Big enough for some time. If I had 100 milliamps per hour, that should make me go for a couple of days for sure. So, we'll see. It's just it's more what do you call it? Cheaper than the. Oh, there we go. Cheaper than the anchor thing, and the anchor thing I'm not totally super duper about for sure. I don't know. Maybe just easier to just let everything go. I don't know. Seems a little. Oh well. Okay, so that's on the way. Have some different chargers, although a lot of the chargers are very low level. I do have kind of this, for example, from LG. Can give up to 9 volts and 1.8 amps. So I guess that's around 15 watts or something like that, isn't it? 9, 18, and then minus 0.2 and all that. I guess we'll just need to use the calculator. 9 volts times 1.8. That's 16.2. Should be able to get 16.2 watts out of this. Although I don't know if it supports this other thing and all that. Yeah, that's also the problem too. Cable, chargers, you get into a lot of weird things, right? Be a little heavy to move all these things around. Anyway, okay, there we go. Which fast charging, blah 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 blah. Yeah, good, great. Let's move on. How does quick charge 3 compare to USB PD? Something in regard to that. And we pretty much have that sorted out, so that should be, I guess, on the way. We have like a Gold Zero Server. That's very expensive. How much does it have? 25,600 milliamps, like the one that I actually got. And it actually looks better in regards of, although it's also more expensive, so even further expensive. But yeah, that's too expensive for biggest battery USB you can buy. That seems to be 50,000. You can't take it on the airplane, so if you're going to the airplane, that's not going to work. Oh yeah, I actually looked into this one. Is actually even bigger. I probably should have looked into that before actually. Okay, let's see here. We have a PD 60 watts. We have a USB, and a USB. Okay, we have DC in, DC out. We have a car socket as well with power and all that. Okay, so how do we charge it? Doesn't really say, does it? Looks good. It's 83,000. It's just then you can, you have a little handle for it. Apparently it has different kinds of charging as well in regards to the car socket. You have 1 USB-C, you have 3 standard USB. You have the power up here and the AC, but it doesn't really say DC in and DC out. Yeah, okay, so it seems like it, at least in regards of DC in, it seems to have a plug for that. Okay, USB and DC power station 83,000, but it really doesn't say further. And again, wouldn't it be nice to actually know some details about things? Apparently not. That's very expensive. What's this, like solar cell? Okay, I guess you can actually. I guess you can connect it to a solar panel. 120 watts. Okay. Uh-huh. 4 hours on a car charging thing and all that, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's some information. So one port to charge it from solar panels, but that's in regards of, I guess, in regards of the plug, the DC plug, 14.32 watts, 65 watts max. So I guess you could actually, wow, could get some big panels, maybe, I don't know. Probably the problem is in regards to the wind, so it doesn't really. DC 12 to 19 watts, that's a DT, 65 watts. So you have one port to charge it from the solar panel, although I don't know what that would be. Out, we have 2 DC out, we have only 1 DC in, so I would think that would be the same port as that. 1 DC 6530 port, 16 to 19 volts, 65 watts max. 1 port to charge via the car. I guess that's the car socket you could then charge, maybe. 1 USB-C 2060, but that's inputs, okay. So you have 1 USB-C, you can actually charge 20 volts. I think that could actually do it, right? 20 volts. But only 1.5 here, so, and then you have like up to 3 amps on that one, 60 max. So that would be in regards to the charging device that would need a little bigger, but at least they can do, I guess, 60 watts. But it's just also incredible, more expensive, I don't know how big it is. Come here, it's like 300 watt. And what this is what 83, so maybe that's why it's cheaper. No, that's also pretty. Are they the same? Yeah, that's way too expensive, it seems, both of them. Like 2,700 kroners for this, and of course you are getting more power for sure. 83,000, but on the other one you get 50,000. So yeah, it seems to be a better option the other way. It also seems huge, pretty gigantic. But here we have it with the solar panel. They put the solar panel out. I do see it's pretty, I guess it's pretty nice if you have some kind of solar panel on the car and all that, and you need power, right? It says battery capacity 200 milliamps. 200. 200, maybe it's not the same as this one, because this is say 83,000. This says 200 milliamps per hour. That must be, that doesn't, 200 milli, it doesn't say 1,000, does it? No, just say 200. That doesn't really make any sense, does it? I don't know. 299.52 watt hour times, I don't know. It's nearly 4 kilos. That's pretty heavy. No, actually, here we go, 83,200 milliamps, and yet it's way more heavy than the others. Of course, they can do a lot of other things, right? So I guess that makes it things that I really don't need. Maybe it could be used for something, but yeah, it will take some time to discharge. But yeah, okay. Too expensive, way too expensive. Now I'm getting more power for a lot less. So, and in regards to what I really need to use it for, in regards of USB things, so we have three USB-C, it looks like, and 3 standard USB. Oh my, wait. I think actually 2 USB-C and one of the old ones, and then 3 standard. Okay, that's pretty good, not bad to have the old thing if you have some kind of yeah. Oh, oh my, I'm really rotten at the moment. Let's get some of this marzipan. Whatever. Well, there's one that has one person that is going at 5. And really also looks pretty good. You know, he says it's a pretty heavy. Yeah, you would expect that. I think it actually will be better than the Anchor. It might be charging slower, but again, I will need to check the charging thing here. It still says you can charge in half an hour, 50%. So, and that seems pretty incredible, you know. So I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see. I think they might be, I don't know in regards to these numbers, but it should be like without added sugar and all that. But when you look on the, there's like weird things in regards of more information. I just have no idea. Yeah. Anyway, not bad. What is nougat? Is nougat made out of? Sadly, they didn't have any nougat. But I think nougat is made from what's it called? Yeah, nuts, right? Hazelnuts or something like that. Yeah, some kind of nuts. You know, a marzipan is also nuts, right? Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's throw that away if that's fixed. We'll just see when it comes, I guess. So how it's going to work. We have what we have when they come, you know. Here's in regards of different best chargers, as they say, for things. Yeah. I had a look on one of the chargers, but multiple charging ability. That would probably do it for me in regards to chargers. Neurosis, so yeah, in regards of all this neurosis that is around us with the nonsense that is going on. Might have some coffee. Okay, so yeah, looking into. I haven't heard from this, in regards of looking into getting some Bible. In regards of these old letters. Oh well. Orange. Oh yeah, that's in regards to grip tape. It's pretty nice to have. Some regards to Candida. The good old PC player website, how it was made up. It's made wonderful, you could still use it for today. Because it was the foundational things you did use in the days of old, and it was working. They had a small forum, and very nicely how it actually worked overall. Yeah, they did it pretty good in regards to making that website. I need to check my Epic thing and get my and sort it out to another. I have the Danish Peter Smith, but I do have it in a PDF form, so I can sit and read it on my mobile if anything. Well, it's not the most expensive thing in regards of. Okay, Cradle. So here we go. I found it. This is from Amazon DE. They have a 100-watt GAN2 Pro charging device with European things. It does look a little big, even if it has 3 USB-C and 1 standard. It should be able to cover all my needs in regards of fast charging any device. They had another one that also looked pretty good, a little smaller, but it couldn't do 100 watts. It could only do 65 watts or something like that. Here we go. That's the Ugreen 65 watts. It has 2 USB-C and 1 standard USB. Looks smaller, it looks more like not too big in the bulking size or whatever it's called. Half the price as well. Although in regards to charging multiple devices, that would probably not be. I'm not sure how much I could actually charge with this one either. I'm not sure if the other one can actually do multi-charging, because maybe it would actually be better than 2 of these guys, and they want to have 4. I don't know. See here. You can see first port is 100 watts, second port 100 watts, and third port that's PD. Well, all of them is PD apparently. I guess when you get over 17 it's all PD. Then it's 22.5 watts, and then the last one is 22.5 watts, but that's SCP, which I don't know what SCP. What is SCP? All these, nonsense things, right? And then you need the right cables and. What is SCP charger? The Huawei 40-watt supercharger SCP charger is an inbox charger that first came along with the Mate 20 series, but again, in regards to the technology and all that, this SCP. I don't know. Oh, the Ugreen 1m 5A supercharged cable is one of the few non-Huawei cables that supports Huawei's own proprietary supercharged protocol charging scheme. Yeah, that's all this proprietary nonsense and all that. I think actually that was in regards to the PD, that might have been an open standard or something like that. Compared to some of the other, I just don't care. I can't remember, but it's just incredible nonsense that we really have these issues overall. Versus the other one. Oh, I'm really farty today apparently. Must be some of the things that I've eaten yesterday that just makes me totally farty. So I'm not sure if I can use the last plug in the, because if I could use all the plugs pretty much to just charge some of those. So 100 watts, so the 100 watt would be in regards to that one over there. I can only use one plug for that. Now if you use the two ports, you have 64, 65 watts and 30 watts. 65 and 22.5, we use those two. And you have this SCP, which I have no idea in regards, and if you use those two you only get 5 watts and 2.1 amps. It's 5, that's 10 watts I guess in total, around 10 watts, a little over 10 watts I guess. 3 ports you get 45 watts, 30 watts and 22 watts. But what if the plug doesn't take so and so much? Is still the maximum 44 watts? I guess it is still. Even if it doesn't use. It would have been nice if it just would, figure out which device and this and that, The USB-C power supply can be max 100 watt charging powers for 4 devices. For a single USB-C connection, can charge the device max 100 watts, and for a single USB-A port, it can be max 22.5 watts. 100% fully charged in just 1.9 hours for a MacBook Pro 16. Yeah, I just don't know. That's the other version here that I can use. You do 65 watts. It might be better to get 2 of those instead of the other one if I want to have multiple charging, but it can't do the 100. So there's another gang here. Usums gang USB-C charger. Of course, the nonsense, of course, is that the things are going so quick. So even if you tested multiple devices, you would and found out which one was better, then the future already have have other new things, right? You just never just go so quickly. The 65 charger is absolutely much more cheaper than the 100 watts. Again, it depends in regards of the charging devices, if they can do like a double charge. If they can't do that, then one, of course, wire will be more than enough to, but if they can do 2 wires, then of course you're just standing there and you just don't know, right? It's just, you don't really get the options to know apparently in regards to what really then you need to see people having bought the things and using them. And we have a Ukraine 65. That's also one of these biggie ones where it's like, some of these 65 chargers are like, slim on this level, which is nice. They're just, whereas some of them are just, well. Oh, this one you can take off, I guess, in regards of other kind of. I would think that is in regards of taking it and using another kind of what do you call it, plug. To ask for a notebook, blah blah blah. We have multiple here that has USB, 2 USB-C, and just 1 USB-A. We have some features actually pretty nice written on this, made in China. Yeah, whatever. DC voltage and amps and all that. 12, 9, 5, 3.3. So it's 3.3 to 20 volts, 3 amps. USB-C1 and USB-C2. USB-A output goes up to 30 watts max. USB-C1 plus USB-C2, then it goes like 45 watts plus 18 watts, 63 watts max. So I can actually do 6, but that's only, I guess, when one output. Okay. So if you use one to all of them, you get 45 watts, 10 watts, and 10 watts. So I guess the first one would be 40. But at least they have written, they've written it directly on the thing. It's actually pretty nice that they have written it with pretty big text. So they also have a light for it as well. That might not be bad either if you're looking for where you're sleeping. I had a USB that I also was using it like a headlight, where you can navigate. It helps navigate where you are, and it's not a biggie, but it's nice to just have something to go by. And it has a little blue light. Yeah, it doesn't look bad, and they have some good information in regards to this. Mit einem USB ASU USB cable. I don't know if there's any cables with it. But that does 65 watts. But it doesn't do 100. Oh. But again, I don't know if you could actually take two 65 watts and charge them double, into the unit that I have over there. Yeah. What the chance in regards of giving it? I really feel like it's just wasted time overall. We'll see. It does look a little long, this one at least. Like huge sticking out, Like it really is like, some of these are really long. They don't really show how many centimeters they are, but they do seem to maybe be a little long. Anyway, This is the choice of Amazon, but the picture where it comes out. Why does it even have the? Well, I guess it's going into the plug. Do you ever have like a thing where? Yeah, you do have. Yeah, okay. I have another 65. I have a lot of these 65 chargers. Again. So apparently it is becoming more standard. Apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I have like a 65 where it goes apparently out. Guess that could be nice as well. Or it has like a wire for it. That might also be pretty nice. I'm not sure how long the wire is, but you have 2 standard and 2. That would maybe not be so bad. Just plug it in and just have a. Of course, I could just fix a standard, cable for that. Really, just make a standard cable. It wouldn't be a biggie. I have all these things. Yeah. Guess I can't go wrong if I get the 100 watts and then take it from there, try it out and see how that goes. Get the options and then forget the rest of it for now. Just seems so. It seems kind of big, It's just like a monster nearly. Plugging it in. I don't know if you will ever have problems in regards to the space. Plugging a thing like that into the wall. You have 3 USB 3, 1 standard. I don't know. Oh, I do like that. It actually doesn't look that bad when it's things like this. It is a little longer than you would usually have, right? You have this one. This would probably be like this. But you would probably have some of the same size in the. Okay. Yeah, it's a little light at the top. I don't know if I want that. I don't know. I can also usually get them without light. That just looks so big. This one. Yeah. Looks bigger. Maybe it's not. Does look like it's bigger. This one also looks pretty big. Guess it's the same company. Mega, yeah. Why is that? Now, wasn't that in regards to all those 18 something? Yeah, PD 18 watts. We have compatible for 18 watt devices. What kind of? Well, it's just QC. It says PD 18 watts. Yeah. Or maybe it's just both things in regards to it. I don't know. It's hard to figure out. Yeah. Oh, it's nonsense trying to fish all these things out. Here we go with 65 watts, the same as the other, just 65. It seems to be pretty much the same size, really. I see we have a video here. Yeah, I'm pretty smelly today, apparently. No, I don't have any. It just does look a little big, you know. It's like, you know, big box, you know. Yeah, that's probably also a problem. Why would it actually? They actually have fixed it so it like takes space in this direction instead of that direction, which makes it needing more space if there's a plug at the side. That might be a problem when you, not all places, but if there's only one, you know, well, you could of course just make a little snippet thing for plugging in. Yeah, of course, that's a thing you could do. I guess you could pretty much have it all in your bag actually, where you just can plug it in and then it will stand and you don't need to take it out of your bag, or you know, that might be a easy way to just fix the cable in, let the bag stand, let it charge, you know. That would probably be a pretty good way to do things. Then of course it doesn't matter in regards of connected devices. Don't know. Don't know. To get that as well. Yep. And some cables as well. I know I got to that one. If I should. Sure, because the website needs to check that as well. We have a. I need to look into that as well, although it might not be that necessary. Yeah, let's have some coffee or something like that. Well, coffee. Well, it's not much of a coffee, but just a little. Well, it's very thin. Yeah. Okay. I guess this, yeah, it's really interesting. So we fix that and okay. Oh my. At least that's a way to do it, and I guess at this, it might not be able to get much juice anyway from solar panels in the winter at least. So it might be a nice. I don't know if I should wait with that, maybe. Of course, it would be nice to see how much you could actually get from solar panels, but don't have that many resources to toy around with. So that might be a better way to just go to the library and just charge things up, and once a day or once a week or something like that. Go to the library, sit with the computer. Charge things up and see how long I can go with this. I should have a good amount, now. If I get those 50,000, two of those, and I have this other one here, which I'm not totally impressed by, at least, hopefully these other ones will impress me a lot more. But you always hear about anger this, right? Anger, whatever. And I thought they would actually, it seems like it's a huge disappointment overall with anger. The battery might last for a long time, or it might not. Who knows? So we have these for the. Okay. What more do I? Well, in regards to we do that, in regards to the battery. Yeah. And we have that. And yup. Okay, anyway, you need to look into the 70 weeks. I was listening to the book of Daniel. Refixing Daniel a little. But I have this way of just falling asleep while doing it. I just don't know. I guess my brain just can't do anymore. Here we have in regards of Gothic text. How do you so? In regards to in this part, you see the Gothic part thing here. What is? Okay. Apparently you can push different things. Oh, go back. I can't go back or what? Okay. Anyway, but yeah, here we go. Learn to read Gothic handwriting, but it's not really the handwriting I wanna learn. At least not the one that it goes on the course. Many documents is written with Gothic thing because it was first in 1875 that you began to use Latin text according to this. But this is handwritten, and it was not the handwritten thing I actually wanted to go into. Let's see here. In this, what is Gothic writing? I guess you get a lot of information on Why is it so slow? Well, here we go with the handwriting, and I guess it's the same as I have on this paper, pretty much. So um, it's just so many things to learn, but just go through it pretty quickly here. Yeah, but this is just the text, written text, and that's not really. I just want to see the letters that is used in books in regards to this. That's primarily the thing that I'm needing to use. Wow. Yeah, that's something too. Well, I would think 3 words here, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Uh-huh. Yeah, I just it's like handwriting thing and all that. I guess you could pretty much use that kind of handwriting, and most people wouldn't be able to understand what you're actually writing. Okay, so let's see here. Let's so there's nothing new on that. Well, it's going to be interesting to see in regards of people. Oh, here we have. They also have like a GAN charger at Pine phone here. Interesting. I have the USB at the top, and then smaller ones at the low, and then you have like 3 different kinds of plugs, so you can really change the plug from where you are, but probably won't be needing that. But nice. No, not that expensive. They're like a square box, 130 grams, plastic, power, port output, 20 volts, 3.25 amps. Yeah, well, warranty 30 days. That doesn't sound like a long time. Now we have like a 9 volts, 5 volts. It actually says how much it's actually doing, I guess. Well, this is quick charge. Okay, these are only 5 volts. Okay, so you can't even. Okay, well, anyway. Pine Talk, in regards of different podcasts, apparently Pine Talk. Rapid Fire News, Pine Phone Pro information. Although I don't have the speaker fixed to at the moment, because I'm testing the thing here. I'll just take some more of this very thin coffee, Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot the speaker as well. It really gives you a lot of problems in regards of taking your power, It's going to mess up in regards of food things. You don't have a refrigerator anymore. Well, I don't have that anyway. But not a refrigerator, what am I thinking about? In regards of freezer, I still have a freezer. Let's see here what the Pine phone says here.
With a RK3399 SoC, just like the Pinebook Pro. However, it's designated the
It's very low.
RK3399S SoC.
Oh.
This is for thermal and power reasons, and probably best that you don't try and overclock anything since it's locked. However, you can expect it to still be very, very performant. It's only going to be about 20% slower than the Pinebook Pro, but it will be a lot faster than the original 8.
Let's try again. This is about the Pine phone, the Linux phone that seems
to another episode
be going in the right direction.
But you may know me as Porky of the Pine, like that doesn't shut up about minimalist software, and I'm always tagging mods to report Spoom and the N64 chats.
My name is Brian, also known by my handle of 33YN2.
I should go to the Pine Pro phone.
Pine 64 just announced a really exciting product, the Pine Phone Pro. This is a Pine phone with a RK3399 SoC, just like the Pinebook Pro. However, it's designated the RK3399S SoC because it is voltage locked and has a 1.5 gigahertz clock speed out of the factory. This is for thermal and power reasons, and it's probably best that you don't try and overclock anything, such as the GPU, which is not locked. However, you can expect it to still be very, very performant. It's only going to be about 20% slower than the Pinebook Pro, but it will be a lot faster than the original A64 base Pine phone. And on that note, the original Pine phone will not be going away. It will still be manufactured, and this is not a Pine phone 2, this is just the Pine phone Pro. Just like the Pinebook Pro, it's not a number 2, it's just a continuation of that line. There will still be a Pine phone 2 in the future. Just right now, this is the Pro product that is presented. But it will support the same OpenGL ES 3.1's APIs. It will have a Vulkan 1.0 support with PAN-VK in the future, and you could potentially overclock it again, as I said, to 800 megahertz if you could figure out some solution for the thermals. It has 4 gigs of dedicated WAM, 128 gigs of eMMC storage. It can still boot from an SD card like the original Pine phone. However, it will rely on U-boot to do so, as the RK3399 is designed to boot from eMMC first, unlike the A64 in the Pine phone, which was designed to boot from the SD card first. So you'll rely on U-boot on the eMMC to point to the SD card to boot. So if that breaks, you will have to use a Rockchip's recovery tool in order to repair the device. However, it hopefully won't be a problem. And either way, you'll have a recovery path if something does go wrong. It'll just be possibly a little bit of a pain to do it compared to the current, I should say, Pine phone. As for the display, it has a 1440 by 720 IPS in-cell display with Gorilla Glass 4. It has a 13 megapixel rear Sony sensor, which is also covered by Gorilla Glass 4 to protect it and also give better image quality, as the original plastics used in the current Pine phone have a problem where it can cause some streaking in the image, and the glass covering the sensor in this Pine phone Pro will not have that. It has the same 5 megapixel front camera, which is used in the rear of the current Pine phone. It has Bluetooth 4.1, unfortunately, they didn't upgrade that, but the good news is it does have 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so it has Wi-Fi AC. It has, instead of USB 2.0 in the port, it has USB 3.0 with 15 watt quick charge and display out support as well, which means it will have much faster USB connectivity, which might be very useful for when you're docking it. There will also be full support for PinePhone back covers, such as the keyboard add-on. However, the PinePhone Pro will be 2 millimeters thicker than the original PinePhone.
Wait, while we're talking about the back covers, we do have to address the elephant in the room. Guess what? The PinePhone keyboard has actually entered production and will be available next month for purchase. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So this PinePhone will be a huge step forward from the original. It still has the same modem, it still has a same resolution display basically. It does have a lot more storage, it has a lot more RAM, a much faster SoC. It should be a great leap forward in every regard, except for, like I said, the display and the fact that it has the same modem. But that's a good thing for the fact that you know it will be decent, it'll be solid, and the modem will be mostly reliable, and you have an option of getting open firmware for it. So this PinePhone is not going to be the magic ticket to getting you to a daily driver status with the Linux phone. It does have the same modem, which means that you could use the open source firmware that's there, and it has from the factory, obviously, the same firmware that comes with it. However, Plasma Mobile and Fosh and the other UI still have work to go in order to really make this a daily drivable device. MMS support, for example, Plasma Mobile still has some bugs that needs to be worked out, such as the suspend timer that's kind of bugged right now, and there's still some like cursor issues, for example, with selecting text in Plasma Mobile. But in the future, and even now, with the hardware improvements that are here, the extra storage, the faster USB, the faster SoC, all that good stuff combined means that you'll have a much smoother and faster experience that will bring you closer to daily driver status. And you'll still have the same great software support because it's really just carrying all over everything that happened. And it will still share that work too with the current PinePhone. That one's not going away again. It's going to be around. Pine64 will not stop manufacturing that until there's a PinePhone 2. So that means that these two devices can share their software work, and the PineBook Pro obviously will share a lot of its software work with the PinePhone Pro. So this will be a really, really good thing in the long run. You'll have a faster platform to play with. You'll have a lot better cameras. It will be sharing the same software, but don't expect it to just work. It's not a daily drivable phone for the masses yet.
Okay.
Pre-orders for the Explorer Edition will become available in November, and dispatch is expected in around January. That might be delayed a little bit because of the Chinese New Year till like February, around there. But rest assured that early next year, you will be getting your PinePhone Pro delivered. You'll be able to order
the new
next
year
month,
of
and
the
developers will be able to order Pine6 fast. However, Plasma Mobile and Fosh and the other UI still have work to go in order to really make this a daily drivable device. MMS support, for example, Plasma Mobile still has some bugs that needs to be worked out, such as the suspend timer that's kind of bugged right now, and there's still some like cursor issues, for example, with selecting text in Plasma Mobile. But in the future, and even now, with the hardware improvements that are here, the extra storage, the faster USB, the faster SoC, all that good stuff combined means that you'll have a much smoother and faster experience that will bring you closer to daily driver status. And you'll still have the same great software support because it's really just carrying all over everything that happened. And it will still share that work too with the current PinePhone. That one's not going away again. It's going to be around. Pine64 will not stop manufacturing that until there's a PinePhone 2. So that means that these two devices can share their software work, and the PineBook Pro obviously will share a lot of its software work with the PinePhone Pro. So this will be a really, really good thing in the long run. You'll have a faster platform to play with. You'll have a lot better cameras. It will be sharing the same software, but don't expect it to just work. It's not a daily drivable phone for the masses yet. Pre-orders for the Explorer Edition will become available in November, and dispatch is expected in around January. That might be delayed a little bit because of the Chinese New Year till like February, around there, but rest assured that early next year, you will be getting your PinePhone Pro delivered. You'll be able to order it next month, and developers will be able to order their devices this month using a coupon system that is outlined in the Pine64 blog. Only developers will be able to get their hands on that edition, however, because it's meant to bring out the software and get things worked out before users get their hands on it in January/February. So with that out of the way, I suppose we can just go into the discussion about it now.
Yeah, let's talk about this. This is huge. This is like being told that, I don't know, Santa's coming tomorrow. It's like being told Santa's coming today. Just off the whim.
Bullshit, you know.
Oh, trust me, this has been like Santa's coming tomorrow every day of the week after hearing about this device.
Yeah.
Working on getting this out to, the announcement and the blog and everything, and this podcast is just super exciting. And the fact that this thing is going to be everything that the PinePhone is plus more. It's exactly what people wanted. The PinePhone was already a great device. It just lacked in the horsepower, like the GPU, for example. The Mali MP2 GPU in it just doesn't have enough horsepower to really drive things smoothly in all cases, right? But this PinePhone Pro, this thing has a great GPU that really has a lot of potential. This device will really outcompete, the PinePhone and other Linux phone devices, and it will be a great convergence device as well as a result. It's basically a PinePhone Pro in your pocket. Just imagine hooking it up to a keyboard add-on, plugging it into your monitor, or even do your work on there, go to the park, unplug it, you could use it as a little laptop right where you are. Same files and everything on there, same apps and programs and everything. It would just be an awesome idea.
Yeah, I daily drive my PinePhone, which I know everyone who's talked to me in the PinePhone chat knows, because I don't shut up about it. And my biggest hang-up is the actual performance. It's very sluggish a lot of times, even running SXML. It can have a hard time doing a lot of things. It's miserable to try to run Firefox, and especially try to use Discord on Firefox. It kills the battery life, which I don't know how much we mentioned the actual efficiency of this, but the PinePhone Pro is expected to have much better battery efficiency despite having the same battery. And I'm just thrilled. I can only, I don't know, the potential is insane. It's not going to be comparable to a flagship Android device or an iPhone, obviously, but it's still going to be the equivalent of like a low-end or a mid-tier phone from, 2017 or something like that, which I also have a OnePlus 6T. That was kind of the mid-tier at that time, and it works great. So I can only imagine just how snappy, how productive I can be with LaTeX on a PinePhone Pro. I don't know. I'm always amused with the fact that I have LaTeX on my phone.
I mean, the great thing is it really is basically a 2017 device. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a flagship from 2017. I'm not really sure it's quite on par with those even, but it kind of has mix and match elements of different devices. It has a lot more storage than a lot of modern devices have, for example. It has the conversion stability that would be hands down the best if the software works out, say Plasma Mobile, for example, simply because it runs a full Linux desktop stack. So with a convergence UI, so you could hook it up to a monitor and use it as an actual desktop or laptop machine, unplug it, and on the go you have the same power in your hands. And that's something that Androids just cannot compare to. I know that they have the convergence features in a lot of the phones, like Samsung Dex, for example, and stuff that they did, but it's just not the same.
That's the only one I could actually name. And even then, it's still limited, and I know one of my coworkers uses it, and he's basically used it to replace his desktop at home, which is nice, but he has definitely complained about how the user interface, just in general, like if he's trying to use like the Discord app on Samsung Dex, it's still the Discord app. It's not.
Well, it would be nice, we have long wanted to, the user to have the choice and not those criminals, so they can dig us in and all that. But that was the same with when we wanted to use the USB as our programs, portable programs on a USB. And they did whatever they could to stop us doing that many years ago. Disgusting. You could just take your apps with you, everything you had on one, without all this nonsense and all that. Yeah. Did a lot of things to stop that. It was not popular in some sense. Instead of actually promoting it, that was just the other way around, sadly. Anyway. So with a mobile you can actually use as a system as well, will be nice. To give the user the power to use whatever system he wants. Of course, I'm sure they will find out something to try to lock people out from that. Like if I have my system on a USB stick, and I haven't tried it yet on the library, but I'm sure they probably won't be happy or whatever. We'll take it for that.
On Discord through Dex to actually get it to look like Discord on a desktop, and he hates that. He's not really familiar with Discord as is, and the user interface on mobile, as you know, is terrible. So something like the PinePhone Pro running essentially desktop Linux and having the performance actually handle it decently. I mean, Discord's a bad example because there isn't an ARM-based Discord, but
well, you could run it in the browser though.
Exactly. Yeah, you could run it in the browser, and it'll be not snappy. That might be a stretch, but it'll run great. Got an extra gigabyte of RAM compared to the Convergence Edition. 4 times the storage of the Convergence Edition. It's basically everything you could want. I actually personally think that this is going to have a huge impact in mobile Linux. Like, obviously, it's not daily driver ready. It won't be daily driver ready probably for at least another year. But we have just gotten considerably closer to a normal person who knows nothing about Linux being able to hold and use a Linux phone and not have any problem and just replace their Android or iPhone.
And I mean, aside from that, this thing would be, it's just, not only is it a huge step forward from the original Pine phone, but it does have some, like I said, it does have some interesting mix and match features from new phones. So it's not, like, even if you're coming into this, like, let's say one day mainline Linux phones are stable and ready for just any average normie to pick up and use, right? I don't think it will be too much of a stretch for them to really not notice much of a difference between phones. Yeah, okay, new phones have like two cameras on them, and they have extra sensors, and they have like a 2K display, for example, or, well, for the lower end ones, more like a 1080p one or whatever, but still, it will be fast, it will be snappy, it will have a decent looking display. It's not probably going to blow you out of the water, but it will work fine. And actually, on the note of the display, it has a interesting, so it's an in-cell display, an IPS in-cell display, which means that it has the touch receiver, like the display panel touch receiving digitizer part, inside the actual LCD itself. So it's all packed together, and it actually results in clearer images, like more vibrant text and stuff like that. Now, I'm sure modern phones have that already, but it's just nice to see that compared to the old Pine phone. This is a big update and bringing it more in line with a modern device. Now, it would have been nice if it was an OLED, but you know, it is what it is. It's still going to be a decent LCD, and you also see a lot of mainstream devices still shipping with normal IPS displays. It's not a horrible thing. OLEDs do have some trade-offs, and obviously they are more expensive as well. So like the Steam Deck, for example, they went with an IPS display. I don't think if it's a good IPS display that it will be a bad thing. And it will be a much better one than the current Pine phone, for example, at least in theory with the glass and the in-cell technology. So here's hoping that it will look really great. You won't really have too many issues with it compared to a modern device. And top that off, the fact that this thing has a modern camera sensor means that it will finally be able to be taking images that are comparable to modern devices without too many issues. Because keep in mind, devices like the Google Pixel and stuff, they don't have like thousands of megapixels in them or anything like that. Like I know some phones will have like 45 megapixel sensors. What they do is they use software tricks to make the images look better.
Really good software.
Yeah, but if we could make an open source software stack, you know, Martin with megapixels, he's already really doing a lot of good work on that regard, and there's somebody that just released a script actually to add into megapixels that would add image stacking and also AI upscaling. Now, yeah, it would take a while to process that on the Pine phone's hardware, but if you let it sit for a while and do the processing, you can get really, really good photos with that. And just imagine with the improvements over time in terms of that software making it a little bit more efficient, if that's possible, and over time getting more powerful Pine phone hardware. Because this is not the end, obviously. Pine 64 will continue pushing forward. Like maybe 3 or 4 years from now, we might see another Pine phone Pro. I mean, I'm assuming here. I don't know the exact dates that they would expect. And also right now, you know, the world is in chaos, so it's not like you can expect something. Because, you know, 3 years from now, we still might be in the same boat where we're lacking chips and stuff, and it might be a pain for them to produce anything. But, for example, like a Pine phone 2 and stuff like that, we could more likely than not expect that to happen, and they would probably be the gap, you know, that we need to catch up to modern. Like, I could expect maybe the next Pine phone Pro having an OLED display especially. Now, yeah, it might cost a little bit more, but it could have like an OLED display. It will obviously have a faster processor too. You know, like I could only imagine, you know, they put an RK3399 in here. What about an RK3588 in the next one? They worked with Rockchip to get this RK3399S going. You know, they took an RK3399 and they binned them, so they selected one.
The thing is, you know, listening to these guys is that it's not ready for daily use, and it doesn't seem like, you know, if they're talking about years still, it's you know, of course it's progressing in the right direction, but it just doesn't seem to you know, be a solution. Sadly, yet, you know, the Librem really, you know, pointed out, you know, looked like, oh, it's coming, and the hype was just a terrible huge, you know, and and because of the hype was so terrible huge for the Librem 5, was like, oh yeah, Linux phone, right? Yeah, woohoo, you know. To get away from Android, and what they really had was, you know, not a phone. You know, it's like it couldn't even call, as far as I recall. You know, it's like when they came out, you know, and I think they actually lied in regards of, I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't, you know, the huge thing that they really had pushed all these things, and then it just became a flop. It was a huge, gigantic flop on so many levels. And I was on the Librem thing as well, which apparently it's very hard to not get their emails. You know, you would just think that they might just make a thing where you could easily just get rid of it, right? But so in regards of Librem 5 and purism and all that, I'm kind of not that in, what do you call it? I'm not really really impressed by them. You know, you should be able to easily just say no to any emails, and that option, as far as I could see, was just not there. I tried to, you know, you need to log in and all that. Well, what's my login? I don't even know what my login is. I just know my email here. Let's see, a pure Librem 5. Well, you know, it looks good and this and that, but yeah, really, yeah, it's just user replaceable and all that. You know, still, you know, I wouldn't have any problem with the bigger size and all that, and they seem to have, I guess, made things move in the right direction. But is a video showcasing the Librem 5 Birch model? Yeah, so I don't know how many models they have been through yet, but of course it's nice to see that they have something, I guess. But yeah, chargeable battery and all that. It's just not, you know, in regards to my old phone, which this is not the thing that is running now, is the new phone. But the old phone, I could, you know, if I can just get an old phone that works as it should without any too many issues, and of course there will be some software issues, which is a problem overall because of Google nonsense and the always updating the programs, and then you get into problems. But you know, all this Android 10 where they have jailed you further in, it's just, and I'm sick and tired of it. So if I can just return to really the old mobile, then I will actually be more than that will be more than agreeable to me. So they're showing the Librem 5 thing, but yeah, it absolutely looks better than it did. But yeah, well, you know, they've moved forward in those things. But yeah, I just don't know in regards of it. I don't see, if anyone is going to make anything, it's the Pine phone. But again, the Pine phone, as they talk about, is not even prepared for a daily driver. So yeah, it's sad. You know, so many people are ready to just move away from Google, and they're just not going, you know, when there's nothing out there. The only thing we have is molested Linux in regards of Android. Don't be evil. Yeah, Google, don't be evil. But what are you? Just evil. Evil, evil, evil. Okay, here we have some of these cinnamon roll things here. I have no idea. Don't look so tasty. Just looking into in regards of cinnamon options. Foods that is not, don't need cooking or whatnot, you know. Will that be easy? Quest bar, cinnamon roll flavor, but does that mean, in regards to flavor, that they actually use cinnamon or not, right? You know? Heat up your quest. Well, whatever. Protein, and then this and that. Well, currently not available. Well, I guess more and more doesn't become available at these times, you know. Sinking society into a crisis thing, and then they can. Oh, anyway, the 12. Probably pretty expensive in regards to this, but I'm not sure. Like 12 times 60 grams. How much is that? 60 grams times 12. 720 grams. Seems to be pretty expensive. Yeah. Yeah, okay, if I have all three fixed, you know, into this thing, that would be 45 watts, 30 watts, and 22 watts. So I would be able to charge 3 batteries at the same time. With 45 watts, that would be around 2 hours at least for one battery. And this is like 30 watts. No, this is actually 35 watts. So that would be still less than 2 hours for one of them at least. The 2 hours, that would still be. That would take some hours to charge. So let's say we get one of them charged, but then we still have the 2 others that will. Yeah, well, anyway, I'll look into how that works out, you know. It's not a big problem if you are at the library for a longer period, I guess, you know. But well, I do have, of course, I do have this one that I can use. Oh, at least that gives me 35 watts. That's one more, yes, at least. Anyway. Oh. Yeah, I'm 40. Must be some of the things that I ate yesterday. You know, I tried different things just to, yeah, some juice and a good mixture overall, it seems. Sick and tired, sick and tired, sick and tired. Oh, let's see here. It's a nice little pine tall there, you know, the play thing. I wonder what they're using to.
So they can't go higher than the clock speed and use more voltage.
That's pretty good.
You know, would cause thermal problems, obviously, and battery life problems. And they made a really nice chip for this phone.
Whatever they did, I don't know, they have like all the programs underneath it, you know. It looks pretty good, I must say, in regards to the website. It seems to be pretty minimalistic, very, not heavy at all, you know.
So who's to say with the more efficient node in the RK3588 and rock chips help to voltage lock that and get that binned and everything, that it couldn't be an even nicer phone going forward, you know? We'll be closer to modern devices. That would be an 8nm chip. It would have really powerful cores in it. It would have a great GPU. That would be a really nice.
Oh, it seems like they're using WordPress. WordPress content, plugins, Podlove, web player embed, and all that. So, seems like it's apparently a front page. What do you call it? WordPress page. Yeah.
Future, but that said, that's really aside from the point. You know, PinePhone Pro as it is now is a huge step up, and I'll be more than happy to use that alone.
And I want to go back to your mention of the average person using the phone. The layperson isn't a nerd like us. They don't care about the resolution or the display type. That they don't see OLED. They see it looks good. It looks pretty. The colors are nice. This red looks like it's red. That sort of thing. And that's not to insult anyone's intelligence. It's just generally the PinePhone Pro as is. Again, performance-wise, not going to compare to a brand new flagship phone, but the average person isn't going to be looking at, they're going to want fast, of course, but they're not going to be looking at display things. They just want a good camera and it can run their apps well. So once we get that software support to actually have amazing cameras, or a decent camera, I should say, and we can actually support, probably through Waydroid, most likely, most of the online banking apps like that, then I think we actually can see, I could foresee someone recommending Ubuntu Touch to someone who...
Online banking, why would we even need that? But they're taking us in that direction, of course. So we can get all, so we only, they can control everything with just a click of a button, Known it for many years, and yet most people still sleep. But will they wake up to a world that is just sad? It's another cinnamon roll thing here. They don't really say how much cinnamon there's in. Maybe there's none. Who knows? I don't know. Where was it? There we go, PinePhone.
Who just wants to get away from Android and iOS, and they heard of the PinePhone and they were interested, but they don't know anything about Linux.
I could definitely see that happening, although the one thing that I would like to point out is that it is a $399 device, so there's the Google Pixel, for example, that's more mainstream at that price. I would say it's unlikely
Am I still
that
running
the
or
average
not?
person would want to buy the PinePhone Pro, because they'd be like, what is this company? I've never heard of it. And so it's a great device.
Apparently I'm
because
still
it's
running,
people
it seems.
that are into tech and stuff, and I'm sure it will sell really well for that reason alone once the software is in better shape. But as it stands, I can't, for a long time from now, can't really see the PinePhone Pro being picked up in the mainstream too much. It will be viable, I'm sure, but it just
won't
won't
be picked up in the mainstream. It definitely won't. We're not going to see Android, iOS, Pine. It's going to be a lot more subtle. I think it'll be people who, because I know we've had people come into the PinePhone chats before saying, I don't know anything about Linux. I heard about this phone, and I just really hate Google. I really hate Android and iOS. I don't want them spying on me and all that. They're just concerned about privacy. And they're like, I heard this is a really good privacy phone. Is this a good idea to buy? And everyone's like, if you don't know anything about Linux, you're not a tinkerer or anything, this is not a phone you should buy. And I always joke with my friends and everyone that they should get a PinePhone and stuff, but after a while I'm like, okay, realistically, I don't think you should get a PinePhone because you have a terrible time with this. But I think with a PinePhone Pro, we're getting there. We're not there.
Yeah.
We won't be there for a good while still, but we are definitely getting there.
Maybe another year or two, probably more like 2 years from now, we already have the hardware. Then from there we just need the software to really get polished up, and it's already really close. It just needs some bug fixes, needs some improvements. Say GPS, for example, needs some improvements on accuracy, which can be done. It just requires people to wire in the compass data, for example, from the sensors, and then we'll be set to go. We'll have a really solid experience. Now, Waydroid will be a different can of worms. I'm sure that will take longer to sort out, but if you're just doing calls, texts, and MMS, and web browsing, and maybe some office work and stuff, for example, you can probably run some kind of Node app or something into, actually, as a matter of fact, you can run Node apps and stuff like that on the PinePhone, but then hooking into a monitor, you can do Excel and stuff like that, so that would be pretty useful, I would assume, for people. And so
either Excel or the minimalist equivalent, I forget which one it is, but there's one that uses Fed keys.
But there's already lots of good software that works great in that regard, so if we just get the bugs sorted out, maybe some of the remaining issues like the compass data and GPS, for example, make it a little more accurate, then we'll be set to go. This will be a really nice phone. Now, yeah, it's not going to have as good a battery life as a modern phone with like 3 nanometers of a node on the CPU or the SoC, right? And it like which has like ultra low power like quad core clusters, so it has like eight cores in it and that can really kick in horsepower, but then use really low power. It's not going to be that, but for people that want to get freedom of their privacy and they want to have a little bit more like freedom to customize and control their phone and do what they want, and also the thought that they can use it as a convergent device. It could be a little mini like Chromebook in your hand.
Yeah, again, why don't they just put a bigger battery on it? Why is it that people want these small batteries? Just get a good battery on it. Just at least have the possibility of getting a huge battery on it. Doesn't have to be too big, but at least In the old days, we had these, big mobiles, and it was fine, that's fine. All these slim things, what's the point of all this slimming down of things? You don't have a problem in regards of the, just having a little more of the, instead of slimming, I don't know what is wrong with people, Can't even get, it's nearly impossible to get a phone where you can change batteries, I don't know how old is the LG V20? It must be like 5 or 6 years now. LG well, I had mine for 4 years or something like that before it sadly broke, Sadly hard to, I had hard to get a new one, but it seems like it has gone a little easier now to get it again. Yeah, 5,000, I guess that was in the old days. I don't know if they want 5,000 now for it. Yeah, it was a pretty expensive phone when it came out. Yeah, around 5,000 kronos, or $600. It seems to be. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh no, 600 pounds. Sorry. And it was an absolutely, there's a video here in regards of LG V20 in 2020. Probably, is it still worth it? Someone says. I must say, I would say yes. 21, probably yes. Because what is there out there? LG V20 2021, is it still worth it? So he made a video again in regards of it. Sure, there are some things that doesn't, but if you're not using it for gaming anyway, LG in 2021, LG Reddit, So that's still people around. Pro and cons 2021. Yep. People are still using it. And hopefully I can get one again that will last me. That would be wonderful if I can. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of this new phone. It's one issue after another. It's like, you would think that they would have fixed things and all that, but it's just one issue after another. There's not going to come any bigger batteries for this mobile I have right there. It will still continue to have all these issues. It will never be as they want to make it, my wonder mobile phone and all. It will never become that, ever, never. There's too many issues. They can't fix that. They didn't, the back camera on this phone is from the very beginning didn't work. They went from Android 8 that they wanted to put, which actually would have made a lot less issues if they had fixed it with Android 8, because then you could record without needing to root the phone. And went to Android 10, where you can't record calls if you don't root the phone, and when you root the phone as any other Android, you get into issues, Every time you root a phone, it doesn't matter which Android phone I've rooted, you always get into issues. It's not as it's every time you root it, it will make issues. Different issues here and there, never perfect, wonderful, never a smooth experience. So, which of course should be default, that you could do what you wanted with your mobile. But that's not going to happen. So how are we 2021 versus LGV20? That one of the big problems is there's only 64 gigabytes in the old phone. This was one of the very very sad things about the LGV20, that it never came in a 128 gigabyte version. Very sad. But yeah. LGV20 battery, new replacement battery for the. Oh yeah. And you can actually change the batteries, right? Well, the ghosting of the LGV20 was also a big biggie. It's just some of the things. If they had just fixed those things, made it possible to maybe change the screen or whatever. But it's becoming harder and harder to get things for the LGV20. And an LGV20 overall, that is, from. Okay, LG 2020 is coming to an end. Let's try to put some power in the mobile, but it won't be able to charge and keep it alive. Oh. The camera nonsense doesn't work either on this. If I use the standard camera program, it won't even follow along the screen, so I need to use an external camera program for that, which also actually seems to be better than the standard program overall. But 2020 is coming to an end. Just for curiosity's sake, are you guys planning to keep your V20 further into the 2021? Yeah, well, I would have if it had been able to continue. I would for sure. Apparently, why didn't I get into the... Wasn't there like the comments for this? Oh, he's on the DS, it seems like. Let's see here. If not, what you guys plans to switch to? I'm keeping mine till it dies out. Hopefully it doesn't die on me until at least 5G becomes commonplace. It does show its age already, lag mostly, but for my use, thankfully, it doesn't bother me yet as far as I can get. 3 to 4 hours SOT consistency with max juice, 4100 battery since last year, and I don't game on my phone. I don't know what 3 COT means. Can still get 3 to 4 hours COT. What is COT meaning? Yeah, it's interesting that someone who frequently drinks too much alcohol. Okay, that doesn't seem to be the right. It does show its age already, lag mostly. Yeah, it does lag, and it's just interesting because I remember when I got it, it was so smooth, and I was thinking, how am I ever going to really, it seems to have so much smoothness, so much overpower, that I will never ever be able to really, because it seems to have so much extra juice. Well, not anymore, and that must be a software issue of some kind, I was like, this is so quick, I'm never going to ever, but yeah, I know it's. Can confirm no plans to replace mine until it explodes on me. I've got it till July and it will be 4 years, so I'm thinking may struggle to get there, yeah. Funny to stumble on this thread. I actually went out and bought one for $40. For the sole reason to play around with. I ended up rooting it, first time rooting Android, so it was interesting to say the least. And installing NetHunter so far works good, minus Rocky, but I'm working on, let's just, don't root it. Don't root the phone, just use it as it is. There's no need for, as far as I can see, there's no need for rooting the V20 really. You really pretty much have everything you really need. There was a way in regards to the screen, but you could get around that as well without rooting it. As far you can, the screen ghosting is terrible. Some say you can fix it if you root it and all that. There are other applications where you can do things, but yeah. 10 minutes. I'm starting to look, but I haven't found anything I'll be willing to pay good money for to switch from our V20s. We have 3 Verizon V20s in the family, and the 4th old problem one that has never taken OTA updates. Okay, we have 3 Verizon V20s in the family and a 4th old problem one that has never taken OTA updates, probably despite all the reflashing I could muster. Mine won't charge fast anymore, but the other 2 seem to be working just fine. I'm mostly concerned about upgrading to a phone where I can't replace the screen or battery myself. Mine won't charge fast anymore, yeah, and I had that problem as well. Mine stopped, but apparently after that must be after an update or something like that. I thought it was actually burned out because it happened after using a charger that wasn't made for it, and then it stopped being able to charge quickly. But apparently it seems to be able to charge quickly now again. So, well, having not a big problem in regards to charging as far as I can see. So that seemed to have been a problem in regards to the system itself when they had updating and all that. When you haven't I'm not sure, but it seems to be apparently a software issue, it seems. Yeah, it is infuriatingly bad design. Yeah, and it's on purpose. What is it called? Infuriating. That was an interesting word. Oh my. How do you say that?
Infuriatingly.
Yeah. It is an infuriatingly bad design. I really would like to. There's apparently a lot of people that really just have written in for not long ago. Oh yeah, okay, 10 months ago. I don't know if in regard to my account, can I make a new account or something like that? We want to run night mode. But yeah, it's like didn't want to spend the money on a new battery and still have a 3-year-old phone. Oh, give me a break. If you don't want to waste money for a new battery, instead you go out and buy a new phone. Oh, give me a break. Anyway, maybe I should help these guys in regards to what I figured out. Yeah. I'm used to having 8,650 milliamp battery in my V20. Otherwise, it's a huge improvement, way faster, and the camera, which is what I got it for, it's much better, but not in regards to the, of course, in regards to the battery. So at least one company makes a battery case for the V50, so I'll likely be picking up that up soon, so I don't have to worry about running out of battery when I'm out for an entire day. Yeah. I don't know in regards to these, although it probably would be above Android 8, and if they are above Android...
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Once again, another still worth it video, and this time around we're going to...
That's in 2020.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's go.
This is 21.
Go ahead and talk about the LG V20 and see how this phone holds up in 2021.
on it. Let's see what the other one I've also written on that one. I see. Yeah, I'm not the only one that huge amount of people just like they want they want something to replace the LGV20, and there's just nothing around. Long live the LGV20 in 2021. I love this thing other than the severe screen ghosting. Yeah, that's pretty sad with the screen ghosting. There's supposedly a fix for ghosting with the V20 on XDA. Yeah, well, but you need to root it. Can be fixed with root. It really works with me. Yeah, but it's still, you need to still root it. Yeah, I'll see if I can get back to a phone that actually is work for me. I don't understand people when they root the phone that they must have some problems, because I always have problems when I root the phones, you know. I just always running into something. Problem, you know, of course, in regards of Android 9, there was a version of Android 9 that, you know, that someone was working on, and it might be a great thing, who knows. Never got to try it. Because if you're rooted, there's no problem in regards of recording calls, as far as I know. Still might not be as good, because they still have, but I think Android 10 probably is the worst of those things in regards of recording. Yeah, that's a lot of people still using, clearly using it. I don't know, apparently a lot of people have written in, like 10 minutes ago it says. Apparently, no, it's like January. So why is it saying 10 minutes? I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are writing. They love the phone. I absolutely can understand them. I want to return to that phone. But yeah, sadly after 4 years it breaks apart. Infuriating. Yeah, it's just incredible that you can't even get a phone with.
Now, I want to say, you know, first of all, this phone actually has held up pretty well in a couple of different areas. Not in camera, only 1080p here too. So it's kind of like another issue. Really not going to be getting, you know, this part. But
Oh, I think I'll stop for now in regards to recording.
LG just doesn't do too well with their UI, with their software, and it really does hinder what this phone could have been, in my opinion. I think for all intents and purposes, I would not recommend this phone, to be bought in 2021, mostly because of the software. But as I mentioned before, if you're okay with, using a kind of older phone with older software and it may not be the most secure device, then I'll say go for it. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't really like an end-all be-all type of device. But as I mentioned before, getting a phone, I would recommend getting the first Google Pixel over this thing. And, they came out the same year, but that device has, more capability and way better software. So I'd way rather recommend that device than this one, the Pixel 2, any of the Pixels, the Pixel 4 especially. The iPhone of that year I would recommend over this thing. So keep it how you want, but that's pretty much how I would recommend this device in 2020. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below.
Yeah, well, whatever. It'll be interesting. Yep. Let's just start here and get back to things, I guess. Yeah, it's draining. Take care, all of you. May you all be with you, and Yeshua be your most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen.